What's up guys, Caleb here with another gear review on DSLR Video Shooter. Today we're going to be looking at this really cool little box that has a lot of features packed in, and I think is going to be a great solution for anybody working with a lot of monitors or working in a studio environment. This is the V-Converter HDMI Extra Scope. This is from Aperture. Really cool device. What it does is it takes any kind of HDMI signal and it outputs with overlays. So for those of you that are familiar with things like false color, focus assist, things like that that are built in a lot of monitors, this is going to make any TV or display have those same features. The build quality on this unit is very, very high quality. It is made of aluminum. It's just an absolute tank. It's really solid. At the base you have a 1/4 20 and 3/8 tapped area, so you can really mount this to anything. And if you're going to be using multiple monitors on your rig or sending it wirelessly, you could easily attach this and kind of add it to your counterweight system. There's also nice rubber feet on the bottom, so you're not going to scratch anything up. If we look at the back, we have power, we have a USB port for doing firmware updates. We're going to have HDMI out, we also have HDMI in. Flip it over to the front and you're going to notice there's a power and function button, and then 3 buttons for selecting and changing settings in the menu. To demo this, I'm going to go ahead and walk over to the TV and we are going to plug it in and walk through all the different features. Okay, so here it is. I have the 5D sending its signal out through HDMI into the actual converter, which I have right here. And then that is going out of the converter into my TV here. This is a 1080p TV. So we're looking at my 5D. Let me turn some of this information off. So there it is. We have a nice full signal. It's filling most of the screen, which is really nice. A lot of monitors and converters don't do that. You will notice that there's a little histogram in this part of the screen that is coming off of the unit. So we can, as I move the camera around, you can see the different spikes. It's very accurate, very up to date, so it changes instantly. And let me just focus on this plant I have in the background here, and I'm gonna jack up my exposure a little bit. So now we're going to go through some of the features. So if you just tap the red button on the unit, you'll see at the bottom of your display, it cycles through all the different settings. So we're going to start from the top. So we have zebras, and I can change that. You should be able to see that. I've got my zebras coming in here. As I change my exposure, this will be more evident. If I point at this bright stuff here, you can see that changing. And you're able to adjust how much you're seeing via the IRA. So there's 100, there's off, 70. Yeah, so you have 70 and 100, which is nice. And then I'm going to hit the button again, and now this is false color. So this is similar, a little different though. Instead of using zebras for certain exposures, it's going to be using different colors for different exposures. So it'll tell you what is overexposed and what is underexposed. So as I change my settings here, we'll see that change as well. So that's a really nice feature. So that gives you 2 ways to do your exposure, which is really nice. So let's turn that off. And we'll turn zebras off. Now we'll move on to histogram. You can see that down here on the screen. We already have that on. Whoops. Let's go back to histogram. There it is. So you can turn that on and off. Really nice to have. Next, we're going to do peaking. And what this is it shows you what's in focus in your frame. So you can see as I rack focus here, you can watch the red across the screen. Let me actually move my little box out of the way here. There we go. So there we can see the plant is in focus. And as you rack, it changes. That's a really nice feature, especially when you have a nice big display like this. So we're going to go ahead and switch. Oops. And you can turn multiple, all this stuff on at the same time. So right now we have peaking on, we have zebras on. You can turn false color on and off. The histogram can be on at the same time. So that's all the settings. So it gives you a lot of different options. I think it's fantastic. And what I could see this being used is someone like me who's doing podcasts all the time. It'd be great to have a nice big display behind the camera where I could, set this up and be able to, from a distance, see my exposure, check my histogram, and make sure I'm in focus. So great little unit. You can find it for around $350 to $400 online. And I think it's just fantastic to have all these different settings that you can use, multiple different ones at the same time like this. So we have zebras on, focus assist on, as well as the histogram, all on one display. And it's just a great feature to have. So I really like this thing. I think it's going to be a fantastic tool for a lot of different filmmakers. So you can check that out. That is the V converter from Aperture.